guys, and today we're talking about the Shocker Tank, the new freestyle frame by Catalyst Machineworks. And it's funny, I actually had sort of a small hand in the development of the original Shocker Lite, and that's because I came to Neil and I was like, look, I have this Dave C ultralight 5-inch prototype. I kind of want something that's like that, but a little bit more robust, a little bit more crash ready. Can you cook up something with that Catalyst flavor? And that inspired him to go make that beautiful, beautiful design. Well, his mind kept on working long after I was like just drooling over that Shocker Lite, and he developed something that could have the same design principle, but a tank-like version that was going to be able to withstand any type of freestyle crash. And at first I was like, okay, it's very interesting, because part of what you get with the Shocker is this cage that runs along the bottom. So they thickened everything. They give you a 5mm brace. They give you some thick arms. They give you a very thick top plate. And of course, they have absolutely made the thickest camera plate cage that they've ever done on any of their frames. This thing is going to be almost impossible to smash any of those components, which is kind of what you want when you're running this expensive HD DJI system. Now, the arm guards for the other frames actually fit, which is nice. And I went ahead and cooked up this GoPro Hero 9 mount. I'm not going to release this, guys. I actually ultra failed when I was designing this. I'll talk a little bit about that later. Let's go over the components that I used. I'm using the Newbie Drone Infinity 30x30 stack. This is a massive stack with a massive heatsink on board that can take massive power, and I wanted something that was going to be able to handle the power. That's why I have mated it to these Xing 2208 1800 kV. Oh man, these are some monstrous motors. Check out the pink painted colorway on here, absolutely stunning. I'm using the DJI Air unit and of course a Crossfire Nano receiver with the Immortal T right here. Now, Catalyst has a ton of printed designs. It comes with one that allows you to mount this air unit like this beautifully, but it also has tons of other ones. You can have GPS mounting options. You can have Crossfire antenna mounting options. You can have a beautifully designed GoPro mount. And I'm going to suggest you actually purchase their GoPro mount. I just did this as an exercise because I wanted to get some footage, and I failed initially. I had to redesign this, and my failure in design actually cost me a stack. I was going to use that Racer Star cheap DJI stack to test this thing out, but when I designed it, it fit perfectly, it fit beautifully, but I didn't actually spin my props on the bench. And so I went out to the field, took off with this thing, and the props were hitting the mount. I had designed the angle too high, and I left the mount too low. That burnt up the stack because I just kept on flying. I tried to send it. I was too excited to go out and fly. That is my 100% mistake, my failure of design. So I suggest if you want a GoPro mount, go buy one of the expert designed ones done by Catalyst Machineworks. I'll leave some links for that in the frame. Today's sponsor is Midalina Coffee. Artisan coffee, fresh, wholesome, and personal. We grind and roast your coffee according to your preference. Ground in K-cups, in bags, or whole beans. We've got you covered. Now, why does this fly so well? I really was like, well, what's the purpose of this? Why have this thicker version when they already have the Bang God, which is an incredible freestyle frame design? Well, what I noticed after actually getting it is that this cage that runs along the bottom, it doesn't really perform a structural duty. It's really just kind of a takeoff mounting landing gear and cage that goes around the stack components. All of the rigidity of the frame is bolted to this top plate. Your sandwich for your arms is bolted to the top plate. And so you don't have the standoffs in the middle of this frame at all, because what happens with a frame with standoffs is you get a bit of torsional flex. If you kind of twist the front and rear arm like this, you'll get a little bit of that flex, but since everything is bolted to the same plane on here, this has the most rigidity of any individual arm frame I've ever messed with, period. This has the rigidity of a single plate frame, but with the versatility of individual arms, and that is the significance of the development of this frame. It flies incredible. If you've ever flown a Marmot, you know what I'm talking about. But flying a full-size 5-inch with a single bottom plane, a single point of failure, even with the warranty that those guys have, it's like you're gonna have to rebuild everything. And so I end up flying the Badger a little bit more because I want the ability to swap an arm if I need to. But you do lose some of that individual bottom plate feel. This Tank,
they got a tank,
gives you the ultimate bashability, the ultimate protection, and it gives you that feel back. I can't believe the feeling on this thing. So I do suggest that you mate it up with some super powerful motors. It actually loses about 12 to 15 grams over the Bang God because you don't have all of the standoffs and you lose some of the hardware needed, which is really nice. Now, one thing that I didn't really love is that you kind of land and take off on this bottom plate. Now, I designed some 3D printed feet, but one thing I noticed, I usually like to land on grass. When I was landing on some dewy grass one day, I realized, ooh, that wet grass is gonna be touching my flight controller. Because everything mounts from the top on this thing, right? So all your components are hanging as opposed to resting. And some people have designed some 3D printable sort of little cover right here just to keep all of that stuff out. And it adds a little bit more weight. When I was designing these little feet for landing and taking off, I wanted to be really, really light. So all 4 of these probably weighs less than 10 grams. So I'm probably gonna have to add another 10 grams to add one of those, but I'm gonna do it. It's gonna look great and it'll give me a little bit more protection. These motors do not give a damn about 10 grams, let me tell you. So what can I say about this thing? It is absolutely smooth. I mated this up. I'm gonna make a separate video on the Ethics peanut butter and jelly props, but let me just tell you guys, flying this through the air, it was straight up peanut butter jelly time. I can't believe it. I'm gonna show some clips right here. I wanted to do a drift video because they had sent me, because I got sent to me recently this drift car, and so check out a video coming out on this very soon. I actually went and got somebody to drift this around a parking lot and was like, can I fly this thing so precisely? Does it have enough control to be able to drift around and follow this thing? And it does. My goodness, this is a beautiful formula that I managed to get together. So much control and so much power on tap when you need it. It's addicting. These giant motors absolutely make the weight of the GoPro Hero 9 that I fly around with just disappear. And it has a lot of control. Now, how does it compare to the cinematic motors that I recently reviewed? This is kind of an in-between, right? So if you had maximum power of like the Ethics Moon Boot, the cinematic motor has maximum proximity control. This is kind of in the middle. It has really good proximity control, really good power, but not as good at either one of those. So this is a really good all-around option. If I had the choice to fly something around for my own personal freestyle, I'd probably choose something probably kind of close to this, because you do want to be able to get close to things when you need, but I'm just addicted to that punch, guys. So outstanding job with this Catalyst Machineworks. Their engineering over there is just unparalleled. You see these designs, they look beautiful, they look aggressive, they look stylish, but what you don't really realize until you build it up and fly it is just how purposeful every design choice on this thing is. No props in view, ultimate rigidity for that incredible fight feel, and incredible protection through the roof. Thanks, guys.